We're alive.
And we are live!
Yes, welcome to Force of Light Entertainment. I am your host, Michelle.
And with her, as always, is her co-host, her sister, Natalie.
That's right.
Well, I'm feeling goofy tonight.
Yes, well, thank you guys. We see you guys already in the chat. Hello to the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. And yes, definitely tell two those friends and tell two more about the Red 5 Network, which we are a proud member of. And we got the Red 5 Network in the house.
Oh, we're dancing.
Where is our dancing? We got to get that music, Ro. We got to get that music in here. Well, tonight we're still just so excited about Mandalorian. And hello to Vader Girl.
Hey, Kat.
Yes, and we're just still so excited.
We're still riding that high, man.
We are riding the high. I mean, just totally riding the high. And hello to Sean Solo 8 and Blue Harvest Vintage Toys. Hello to you.
Hello.
Yes, and so we are going to tonight be discussing The Mandalorian Season 3 possibilities. And we decided tonight we would have a guest. So we want to welcome Nicole.
Yay!
Hello.
And
yes, hello. And I'm sure most of them know you as Peace, Love, and Star Wars. Is that why did I just go blank on your Twitter name that I see all the time? And
she's our Star Wars sister.
Yes.
True.
And then also tell them you write blogs about Star Wars, so tell them where they can find those.
I do. Okay, so I'm Nicole, behind the Peace, Love, Star Wars, but you can find me at Twin Suns Outpost for writing articles, as well as Peace, Love, Disney on Facebook. That's
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, check her out. I know she just wrote one. I just read it on Cara Dune, speaking of The Mandalorian.
Very nice.
And she was the winner. Yes, she was the winner of the Funko Pop.
I thought that just couldn't have worked out more perfectly.
Can you talk about timing on this? Like, seriously, the timing of this, because I had stacks of notes, like just sitting around. I had planned on writing about her in January. And the day you guys posted, I had already been playing around with it, but I'm like, screw it, I'm going to start writing. That was the day you guys talked about the giveaway, and go figure.
I think it was meant to be.
So
awesome. Yeah, I like to take mine out of the box. I'm an out of the box girl, so it's whatever.
It's been a busy day.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us. And I know you've got some thoughts about, obviously, guys, for you joining tonight or listening later. And first, we want to just say Merry Christmas to those of you, especially if you're watching tomorrow on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Yes.
And hello, Shabby.
Oh, hey, Shabby. Yes, Mark Shabby is in the house.
He's a good sir.
And Kilo Custom. So hello to both of you. But yes. Yes. Hello to everyone. Merry Christmas to everyone as well.
Let's spread the cheer.
Let's do spread the cheer.
We can.
But again, guys, we are going to be talking Season 3 Mandalorian possibilities. These are not necessarily predictions. We would probably wait and get closer to Season 3 time before I give actual predictions. But we are going to lay out what we think are possibilities for Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So join the conversation and let's talk The Mandalorian. All right. So the big thing that I want to start with tonight is something that I feel like it's almost split in the Twitter world right now, and that is kind of the fate of the beloved Grogu, a.k.a. Jon Favreau has now said they call him Baby Yoda too, so it's cool to call him Baby Yoda still, so whatever.
You know, I saw this funny meme. I think I sent it to you, but you know in the movie Mean Girls when she's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. You know, it's kind of like it said, stop trying to make Grogu a thing. It's not... Which, I mean, it is, but it's like, I think we all know him as Baby Yoda. It's hard to, like, break that.
I think it's Grogu to all of us diehard Star Wars fans, but for the average person...
I do call him Grogu some now. I'm trying.
Yeah, for the average person, I think it's just Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But anyways, I want to address, again, I feel like it's almost split on Twitter, what people think the fate of the child, Grogu, Baby Yoda, will be in season 3. So I'm going to lay out, and then I'll let these ladies join in and give their thoughts, opinions. I'm going to lay out, you guys know, okay, so this is a prediction in a way. But we'll get into possibilities in a minute.
Michelle's already not keeping her promises.
I am. I'm just going to say this. As assured as I was at the end of Stranger Things season 3 that Hop was not dead, Grogu is coming back to season 3 of The Mandalorian. You heard it here first, guys. Like, it's happening.
Boom,
and
there it is.
And let me lay out 2 reasons why. The first reason is because, as I've said all throughout this season, literally from the moment there's only maybe 5 to 10, maybe 10 minutes of The Mandalorian that Grogu is not a part of the story. Because early on in the pilot, he is sent out to find a package, which of course we eventually find out is the child. And my point in this is the entire purpose of these first 2 seasons has been the bond, the relationship between these 2 lead characters of Mando and Grogu. And yes, I call Grogu a other co-lead character because who has more screen time than Mando and Grogu? No one.
Nobody.
So to me,
Hey, Scuba Pete.
and hello to Scuba Pete
Hey,
and RFB. So to me, logically, narratively speaking, the way a story is written, you don't just remove the other main character for no reason, especially when they're beloved. Let me give you another example. Most genius.
Michelle's like, I got examples for days.
most genius writer, the guy who did Breaking Bad, he was going to kill Jesse Pinkman within the first season. He then saw Jesse Pinkman was a beloved character, and he realized...
My favorite on the show.
He realized can't do it. And guess what? Breaking Bad no longer worked without Jesse Pinkman. And it's the same thing to me with Mandalorian. The show has been built in a way that it just doesn't work without the child. So we'll get into possibilities of when I believe he'll return. But the child, and again, I said this on our last episode, when Mando said, "We'll meet again, I promise," it was really Jon Favreau telling the audience that adores the child, "You'll see him again, I promise." Wink, wink. That's basically what it was. So that's why I think narratively the show does not work without the child. And that doesn't mean Mando can't go on to do all these awesome things with the child. But do I think he'll be in the show? Absolutely. Second reason he will be in the show. I'm giving you hardcore facts here tonight, people. Second reason.
Buckle up.
And then
I'll let to get real.
And then I'll let them talk because I've talked enough. Okay. So shows like most shows, take Stranger Things, for example. They've got sponsors like Coca-Cola. They've got Nike that are paying them money to have their product placement within these massive shows. Star Wars can't do that because you can't have Coca-Cola or Nike in a galaxy far, far away. So what's the next best thing? You have a character that makes them a ton of money with merchandise. So merchandise is very important in Star Wars land, and therefore the child is not going anywhere because he is kind of like their version of a Coca-Cola placement, and he makes them a lot of money.
Yes, it does.
So there's my narrative reason of why he's not going anywhere.
And your logical
and
reason.
My logical financial reason of why the child is not going anywhere. And I know I have to be making Bob happy because I know our brother Bob has really been upset.
He shares the passion.
He shares the passion that I share for the child. He tells me every day he loves him more, but that's debatable.
You're my boy, Bob!
But anyways, so I'll let you ladies speak about what I just said. But what do you ladies say?
I want to hear what Nicole has to say.
Oh, I'm in agreement. I think you just lay down like so much excellent reasons as to why. I'm like, yep, keep going. You got it. I think your reasoning is right behind it. I think we will see Grogu return, and I would love to see him return, not just for money purposes, but for the fact that he is an amazing character and he brings so much to the story and with Mando. So I'm in agreement. I think you laid those reasonings out really nicely.
Yes.
With Michelle, sometimes it's like, How am I going to top that?
Well, guys, clearly, this has been on my mind a lot.
I know.
I joke with her. It's like sometimes if we're on with other people, I get to the point I'll like jump ahead and go before she does because I'm like, I know she's going to say everything that I was possibly going to say and then like 10 times more. So I better just go first and get it in there.
Well, and let's just say this. Let's look at who picked up the child. None other than Luke Skywalker. And what does Luke, something I tweeted out, Luke was not raised in the Jedi Temple. He doesn't share Ahsoka's sentiment that she has ingrained in her from the Jedi Temple of attachment is bad. It could lead to bad things. In fact, it is Luke's love and attachment for his friends, for his father, that ultimately led to the galaxy getting out of the clutches of the Empire. And I mean, that's a huge part of Luke's life. So do I think that, and even the way Luke words it to Mando, he tells him he'll never be safe from the Empire unless he masters his abilities. Hello, YetiCast. So I think he definitely even lays it out like he's got to train and then he'll be returned. But I just think too, again, I feel like sometimes people, they put the Jedi of the prequels onto Grogu now, and we don't have any knowledge that Luke is that strict of a teacher. And in fact, I would be shocked if he was anywhere that strict as a teacher because he wasn't raised that way.
I like to think he'd be a cool teacher.
Yes, and I'll let you speak because I think Luke understands more than any of them. One, I think the more he learned about his father, but then even from his own experience, that love, attachment, yes, it could lead to something bad, but it's also can lead to redemption and something beautiful. So I don't see him wanting to cut that off when he sees it. So Nicole, what do you think on that?
I'm in agreement. I don't think they're going to just cut him off. And I think Luke is going to be an excellent teacher in the long run, or a good, cool teacher, as you put it. I still think we're getting him back though. Even if he's a cool teacher and something tells me on the inside he's coming back. And
yes.
Yeah.
And so we'll kind of lead into, were you going to say something?
And I was just going to say what you were saying. I mean, that's so true, even in life, like kind of what forms us that love and attachment, especially in an early age, not to get like into child psychology with Grogu, but that's like one of the most important factors in like us becoming secure, healthy adults. So it's like, he needs that too with his dad.
Yeah, he does with his Mando daddy.
Yep.
And
yes, RFB.
And it was definitely RFB. And it was, even as people pointed out, them even taking his mask off, being a callback to Return of the Jedi. Let me look upon you with my own eyes. It's just there. And again, we've never really had a positive fatherly figure in Star Wars in this way. Yes. And to me, that they've just set up such a beautiful picture. And funny, again, going back to Luke, I have pinned on our Twitter a picture of Grogu and Mando, and I have the quote from Luke in The Rise of Skywalker: "Some things are stronger than blood." Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I think you see that through their relationship through these first two seasons, that, Mando was someone, he was basically adopted. And you see him now that he's formed the same attachment with this child. And anyone who's a parent knows you couldn't just like send your kid off to school and never see him again. Like, you're going to be thinking about him, like you want him to return. And I just, guys, Grogu's coming back. I mean, if he does it, I'll eat crow. But I believe very confidently, for the reasons I've laid out, that Grogu is coming back in season 3.
And, obviously I'm not diminishing. I have a biological child, but there's something even more like pulls at my heartstrings when it is an adopted child and that attachment is formed. I just think it's such a beautiful thing in real life and in the show. So it's just, I want to see that continue to flourish and that relationship keep going.
It will.
It will.
Well, I want to add though, I think I agree. I think 100%. This is a great time that Star Wars is getting a really good, strong father figure next to Bail Organa, but we didn't get to see that very much. We get to see that in the books. So I think that's really good that we're finally getting that. And I had a thought, but it's there. It'll come again. In regards to Grogu and Luke Skywalker, and I'm really curious though with Luke though, where we're gonna see him or how he's gonna get back. There's some other stuff that's going on up in here, but I think that's coming in later in the show.
Yeah, yes, and we'll go ahead and move in there because I think Bob has one of my theories about how will we get him in season 3.
There it
And
is.
I was just thinking, we'll put it back on the screen. I was just thinking too, we know now, I guess maybe the earliest we could get this would be January of 2022. And that's me with my fingers crossed, prayer hands.
And I'll say on that, I know people are like bummed. And I mean, same here. I wish we could get it earlier, but it's like when we say 2022, that doesn't mean like December of 2022.
Yes,
I mean,
we don't know that.
It very much could be January of 2022, so really just a little more than a year from now.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it takes kind of the WandaVision spot this year, but in 2022. That would be awesome to me. Like get Boba Fett all through December, the Book of Boba Fett, and then get Mandalorian kind of off the heels of that. That would be that would be awesome.
Yes.
But I do think with there being at least a year, like in our physical time, I think it's very plausible that there is a 6-month to year time jump into season 3.
Absolutely.
At which point, I think then it becomes very easy to get the child back into the show. Like he could have been trained with Luke for 6 months to a year, and Luke maybe has something. It's very easy to write something that Luke has to do, and he returns the child, at least even for a time. It's. I'll kind of see if you have any ideas on that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was a possible time jump. That's what my brain's been kind of playing with the last few days is that we're going to get this down the line, and maybe by then we'll have more character development in all of the characters and all new possible characters coming in.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, time jumps, I know we didn't really have much of one, I don't think, between season 1 and 2. But it's very normal for Star Wars. I mean, in almost all the movies, there's a time jump. So
there's a year time jump, and Luke's like, "Hey, come get your kids."
Daddy daycare is over.
I've got enough of this.
But I actually was thinking of something that because obviously people are scared. Will Grogu be with at the temple when Kylo destroys it? No, I don't think so, because Mandalorian is like 18 to 20 years before the destruction of the temple by Kylo. Like Kylo is like maybe 4 or 5 years old at this point. I mean, he's not that old. So in my mind too, I have said this, I do believe ultimately, and I would like to point out that I am on the record saying I thought Mando would end up with the Darksaber, by the way. But just to say it. But I do believe that at the end of season 1, there was this foreshadowing where he has the pendant of the Mandalorian. And I think it's interesting if you connect Luke telling Rey, like, when I die, like the last of the Jedi, like basically like I'm it. So obviously, how do you fit Grogu into that? Well, maybe he just forgot the cute little adorable Grogu in this time. But also, it's very easy. I've been saying that I believe, even think about the Darksaber being in the story. I think Grogu will kind of be a hybrid Jedi Mandalorian. Like, that's how he'll identify. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
And we haven't seen that before.
No, besides the guy who had the Darksaber. That was the first Mandalorian Jedi.
Okay.
So what do you think about that possibility? But now I'm shooting way into the future.
I think that would be excellent and very innovative for them to create a brand new Jedi Mandalorian type. Although I am curious because Luke didn't say anything, but Grogu, of course, looks like Yoda. And I think we're all waiting for that moment of you come from this species moment. I think we're all kind of waiting for this. So I have to point that out. But other than that, I think it would be very innovative if they created a brand new Jedi Mandalorian mix. Just especially for him, for the child.
Yes, I think it would be. I think they may be waiting for George Lucas to tell them what that species is.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I know I'm not the most informed, but I don't, to my knowledge, we really don't know, much about Yoda species. I mean, very little
nothing
to none. So, yeah.
Yeah, we know very little. So I think definitely a time gap is the way I would say. And maybe that happens midway through season 3, but I would almost be shocked if it's even that far into it. Like I'm feeling more like by the end of the first or second episode. Because again, what are you looking?
I was looking for the gangs all here comment, but I lost it.
Oh, well,
it happens.
I think he'll be brought back in. And again, I think it's so easy to explain his training and that he's ready to come back. I just think that's very easily written in and fits in the story. It's not like it's being forced in the story either. So I think a time jump is very likely.
Oh, I want to address and love our British brother, Michael Campbell, who said earlier in the chat that basically Yoda doesn't need to be in the show. I'm not Yoda. I mean Grogu. But I'm saying in love, I think he does need to be in the show.
Yeah, I definitely think he and
I appreciate your point of view.
Yeah, Michael, you're not the only one to say that. That's why I said I feel like it's kind of split. I just think he does, because again, it's how the show has been set up for 2 seasons. And think about this. In TV shows, people like familiarness. Like in Friends, they're always in the same 2 apartments, things like the coffee shop. People don't like when there's a lot of change, but yet in The Mandalorian, it's constantly changing. Scenery, planets. But what's the thing that is that familiar feeling? The 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that. And even the Razor Crest got blown up. So it's like the only thing we have. I know. It was quite a moment. So it's like the thing that we truly have that's kind of the equivalent of the apartment and Friends is Mando and the child. That's what's familiar to the audience and what the audience comes back for and what makes us feel warm inside and what we're looking for. So I think you could, maybe put Mando in another show by himself just for an episode. But I think as far as this show is concerned, it's a package deal. Like they go, it's like Han and Leia. You got to have them together. Like it is.
I agree.
So we'll kind of move on.
So it's not if we'll get them back, it's when we'll get them back.
It's when we'll get them back. Just like
we're just putting it out there.
Just as I said at the end of season 3 of Stranger Things, when will we see Hopper in the new season? Not if, when.
Nicole, are you a fan of Stranger Things?
Yes, I am. Can't wait.
I love something else to show. And we won't go on a side thing here, but we were kind of surprised, like how many people, like in the Star Wars community, have not watched Stranger Things. And I just kind of feel like, not that they're the same at all, but it's kind of like, I feel like if you like Star Wars, you're probably going to like Stranger Things. Like there's just kind of something there. But we were surprised how many people haven't. They're like, oh, I've never seen that. I'm like, how? But so good to hear you like it.
Yeah, I love it. I love Stranger Things. And I'm right with you on the segue here of Stranger Things. I knew Hopper was coming back the minute it happened. I cried and I bawled, but then I'm like, he's coming back. That was the end of that.
See, there's actually a parallel there. They were able, even though you knew he was coming back, they were able to get the tears with the note that he's reading and her cried. And it's the same thing with this season. It's like they had that tearful moment, but they're going to be reunited.
Exactly.
So, okay. So I think we've laid out why we believe that he will be back. So we'll now move into, and we laid out, so I guess we're all in agreement. Probably there will be somewhat of a time jump. He will have been trained for a time and then he'll come back at some point.
Right.
So then that leads us into this show ends kind of not on a cliffhanger, but with a lot of unresolved things.
Yeah.
And one of those things is, of course, Bo-Katan wanting that Darksaber to go take back Mandalore.
Feels like there's some unfinished business there.
Yes. And then for Mando to get the Darksaber, and you can see how much she hates it. She wants it so bad.
And how much he does not care.
Yeah, he doesn't care at all.
He's like, come on, take it.
So what do you think? I think there's some really fun possibilities for season 3 with that. So do you have any thoughts, Nicole?
One more time. I think I just somehow turned off the mic.
Oh, got you. You're fine. I was
There we go.
saying that with Bo-Katan and the possibilities of her, she was wanting to go back and retake Mandalore. So
Mhm.
do you think that they will go that route with season 3?
Yes. Quick. Sorry. Apologize. I had like a small little difficulty there, but I got it fixed.
It
Yes,
happens.
I think that Bo-Katan really wants to come back. I don't think this is really about Mando, Din Djarin himself. I don't think this is personal. I think it's personal to her, not necessarily to others. Like with Sabine, she took it. I think with Din Djarin, if she would have taken it, it would have been the equal of that moment. And I think that's why she didn't. I think she wants to battle for it, and not necessarily because of him, but because of an inner conflict inside of her. Like she has to prove herself. Like she has to feel accomplished, and she likes that feeling of power and control. And I earned this, and not just like I was handed on this just like on a silver platter. She's not that type of girl. She likes it when she earns it. And I mean, kudos for that, because that's really good characteristics. But it's kind of do we
Kinda
really want to see
complicated
Mando in a
now.
fight with Bo-Katan? That's where I'm at right now, like trying to figure out if we're gonna get that, because he doesn't
Well,
care. He's like, here,
no.
take it.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
Well, and I had the
She
thought
was so mad.
she
yeah,
it was
she
all
was
over her face.
livid.
Yeah, and I had the thought, what thought did I have? I had the thought that I wonder if she couldn't take it too, possibly because of how she lost it. Like, did she lose it truly, like in disgrace to Moff Gideon, and therefore it's no longer the same, where she could just take it from Sabine? Like, I wonder if she truly felt like beaten, and because she was beaten, I bet we'll get this backstory eventually. But I wonder if she was beaten in a disgraceful way, to where she could only even gain back honor by actually winning it back. It's kind of what I was thinking too.
Mhm.
And honor was very important,
With
to the
Mandalorians,
Mandalorian
yeah.
in general. So, I mean, that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah,
That's very much a part of their value system.
very much. And you brought up, like, and you guys let us know in the chat, like, do you guys think, will we get a showdown between Mando and Bo-Katan, which is interesting, but it's kind of like you said, I don't think Mando even really cares enough for this. Like, he would be like, lady, why are you fighting me? Like, just here's the sword, take it. So what do you think about that? I mean, there's definitely going to be, I think, kind of maybe possibly a tension.
Mhm. Yeah, most definitely there's conflict and tension already. You could almost feel it already. That moment, you could feel it, and you're like, oh no, they're gonna have like this, they're gonna go down. Oh no. Oh, you know what I mean? Because you have these two great characters you don't want to see in conflict, and yet you might see them in conflict, all because of something that she has really it's a working inside of her heart, not necessarily again with him, because he could care less. He doesn't want nothing to do with it, but maybe we'll see something change in him. But I don't think we will. I don't think he's he's more of a leave me alone, I want to be introverted type of guy.
I agree with you that now that you say that, I hadn't thought about, but that is very much kind of goes against the character we've seen so far, kind of his inner character, who he is.
Well, and someone did bring up that they have kind of set up though the hero's journey of like, no, I've got other stuff I want to do, but then it's like, no, there's like a better calling for your life, or a bigger
right.
Better, a different calling, just like Luke. Like,
it's like Grogu interrupted, that's another thing, all the ways that he changed him, but he interrupted just kind of the mundane path he was on. Not that it wasn't exciting at times, but I think it totally rocked his world and like changed him to the core.
Yeah, because when you first meet Mando, his life's not very exciting. I know we think it's cool,
right?
But it's like it's just a job to him. He goes and he finds bounties,
get money, go to my next gig.
He doesn't seem very joyful or anything, and it's like the child truly changed that. And he's
like the Grinch. His heart grew 3 sizes.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever be happy to just go back and be a bounty hunter at this point.
Right.
Like, I think it's kind of like Luke Skywalker. Like, no, I'm going to be a moisture farmer. No, you're going to be a Jedi. Like, I think Grogu was kind of that pivotal moment that we'll we will see more out of Mando's life now because of that.
Like, I'm a part of a bigger picture.
So,
you know.
so it is interesting, as you point out, where will Mando feel differently when season 3 picks up? Because that is a possibility. Like, I mean, and I think too, the show has really, even with Boba Fett's character, everything, this show really is kind of like, what is a Mandalorian? Like, is it a heritage or is it a creed? And it's like, and that's kind of an interesting rumbling. And it's kind of like, maybe even in season 3, they do explore, if Mando does begin to lead, like it's more of a creed. Like, again, back to that Luke Skywalker quote, some things are stronger than blood. And that kind of seems to be a theme of this entire show. Again,
I love that.
Again, adoption, kind of more creeds or things like that than just like a bloodline. It's kind of so I could definitely see that happening. Because I don't think we're just going to get Mando going back to bounty hunting. I don't see that. That would feel like the opposite of a regression from the character.
Opposite of a progression.
Yes. Right. So it'll be interesting. So any other thoughts that you have on that?
No, but you made a good point in regards to, do we think he's going to be going back with bounty hunting? It's onward, forward, and up.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Onward and forward and up.
I think so too. And I think it would just be, you could truly set up almost, and I've never actually even watched the show. I just know, I know a lot about it. You could set up more like a Game of Thrones type thing at Mandalore. And I just mean different people fighting for the throne almost. And there you could bring Bo-Katan in, of course, and Mando. I think it sets up.
I see what you're saying, and really how that ties into Game of Thrones, kind of a mystery of who is going to take the throne.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the thing of Game of Thrones. You're kind of, the whole time, it's like, who's going to get it? So I haven't even watched the show, but you're right. I mean, that's kind of the same.
It's like, what if it's ultimately Grogu? I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm not predicting
kind of like Game of Thrones, the real curveball for everybody there at the end. It's frickin' Bran. Is that his name? I forget.
But I do think you could almost set that up in Star Wars and it'd be very interesting, because the Mandalorians, they are, in the words of Ezra Bridger, they're crazy. Like, they'll fight each other. Like, they, it could be very interesting if they took season 3 and you could stretch that over to season 3 and 4, even in Mandalore or something. So I think that's a possibility. Definitely. I think that's a strong possibility that they go back to Mandalore, at least for some part of it. And then I don't have this on the notes I wrote, but at some point, and I wonder if it will somehow go back to Luke and Grogu, at some point, I do believe if there's something we saw in season 2, it is that nothing is wasted with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. The episodes 5 and 6 that felt a little wasted, no longer wasted in season 2. So I say that to say, I feel like they set up that we would see Cobb Vanth again, at which point it would take him back to Tatooine. So I think he will go back to Tatooine in season 3, and we'll see Cobb Vanth again at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think that we'll get Cobb Vanth back. I hope so. He was for one episode, and he was a really good support character. I really hope we get him and Bill.
And let's be honest, he's a bit of a silver fox.
He is. he is that. He definitely is that.
Little eye candy.
He's definitely that. So I think we could see that, which, I mean, now my mind's just totally fan nerding. I'm not predicting this. I'm just spitting out things. It's almost like, what if Luke took Grogu to Tatooine and they're at the old at the old homestead? I mean, we don't know where Luke took Grogu. I don't know where Luke is established and where his home is at this point, because Luke kind of leaves Tatooine and never looks back, and he never really has a home from that point on that we see. So
yeah, true.
So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not predicting that to happen. My brain's spitting out what I think could happen, possibly. Maybe. As we like to say.
So this whole episode's basically
Possibly maybe.
possibly maybe on next week of The Mandalorian, but in bigger segment this episode.
Yeah, definitely. And then, okay, so we'll move into what ways, Nicole, because obviously Cara Dune is a bit one of probably the main supporting character of the show. And we're all big Cara Dune fans here. And I want the one disappointment, and I can't really even say a disappointment because it was still so good. I was a little surprised we only got Grief Karga in one episode. So, I kind of feel like maybe next season when they, and
that's what I said to Michelle. I'm like, well, surely he's going to be in the last one. And then I quickly realized, like, no, he's not going to be. And then she made the point, maybe he just kind of wanted to direct and be in one. And, maybe he didn't want to, but I kind of thought we'd see him again later in the season, but we didn't. But yeah, I would like to see him more.
Yeah. So Nicole, do you think, like, what ways do you think they can bring Cara and Grief back into the story, especially if the main storyline goes to Mandalore? And of course, they're in Navarro. So do you think we'll see Cara just as much in the next season as this season or not?
Okay, so I got to separate them because I feel I have like this much for Cara and I feel like I have this much for Grief. And not because I don't like him. I love Grief. So I was really surprised, I think, with everybody else that we only saw him in one episode.
Yeah.
We had the Golden Trio back one episode.
Yeah.
And I think that was really a surprise. And I think, I don't know how many other people, but I'm still wondering, where was he? Like, it wasn't Grandpa Grief, wouldn't he want to know where the child went? Like, there's no goodbyes, no nothing. And when he finds out, his heart's going to break and we're going to see, Grief Karga crying, like, think about that. So I really do want to know what happened to Grief during those last two episodes, because really he didn't know. What's he going to say when he finds out that the child is with Luke Skywalker? Or does he also know who Luke Skywalker is? It was evident in that scene, though, that none of them realized who this Jedi was.
Right.
Which I was interested in, because even Bo-Katan didn't say, you know what I mean? The only person that looked like he might know was Moff Gideon, and only because of his face, Yeah. So but I am very curious about Grief Karga. And I feel like I need to separate him from Cara because, again, there's so much unknown for me on Grief right now in comparison to Cara. Cara, we could be here for 5 days just chatting about.
We love Cara. We love her. We're with you.
I do. I love her. And I think we're going to. So my guess, if you don't mind me segueing here back to Cara now, I think if we don't, either we're going to get more, if she ends up in the Rangers Republic, then we're going to get more of her backstory there. If not, we have to be getting it during season 3. I have so many reasons. One of the reasons, it kept coming up as something that kept coming back was they kept talking about Alderaan.
Yes.
None of them really are really good at communicating, I'd like to say, because no one's asked her really, other than the captain, like, well, did you lose anybody? No one's really asked her, by the way, do you know the Organas? Do you know Mon Mothma? Those who actually like set up the Rebel Alliance? You would think that they're asking her these questions, and none of them have. I'm really, really surprised, because I think there's so much more to her backstory, and we've only just tip of the ice block. I think that's all we've gotten so far. And slowly,
definitely,
the ice, the ice is melting, and we're starting to see more and more of her. But right now, she's still so guarded, anyways, that I think that's why they're kind of like building it up. That being said, they've also built this up for Cara for 2 seasons. 2.
Yes.
So something big must be in the waters, because they've only given us little nuggets about her. So I think we're going to get a lot more in season 3 if we don't see more. If they don't put her in Rangers, I think that's
and I think that is a strong possibility. And do you think Blue Harvest Vintage Choice said Cara had to know who Luke was? I had that thought, which you would almost think, because since she was such a big part of the Rebel Alliance, and Luke became so famous among them after the first Death Star, which she references, because she even says which one, so it's and she does kind of just look in awe as the child goes off
and smiles.
And smiles. So I
Right.
almost wondered if she knew, but was kind of in awe of the moment and just didn't say anything. Like,
And maybe we'll learn later on that she did, in fact. Or, I don't know.
yeah, because as
Right.
Blue Harvest point out, it's almost hard to believe that she wouldn't know because Luke became so famous amongst the rebels for blowing up the Death Star. It's almost hard to think their paths didn't even just cross literally a couple times.
Another good point that I'd seen, I think, on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, kind of light bulbs went off for me. I think Shabby had said earlier, and Bosk is agreeing, but if Grogu was at the temple around the time of the Clone
about
Wars,
me and R2.
Because you notice there was like this immediate, almost like they were happy to see each other or like meet each other. We don't know which one, but it is possible. It seems maybe they had seen each other before.
Yes, that is definitely
It was
possible.
almost like he saw him and he was like comforted, like, and went over there or something.
Well, but then again, maybe as someone else pointed out, R2 just looks like the knob that he constantly wants to hold.
True.
So he might just be like, ooh,
a big one,
a shiny knob. But that I've definitely seen that. All of you guys saying that in the chat, and I think that definitely could be a possibility for sure.
Yeah. And back to what Nicole was saying, once again, it's so nice to talk to other people and get other people's, like, the way their brain works, because it makes me think of things I hadn't even looked into, and just like the character development of Cara Dune. And you're right, she has been so guarded, and it's like, little by little, and her friendship with Mando and even Grief Karga and stuff, but will we see her, some of the layers start to peel back more and more as the show goes on? And I think so. But good point.
Yeah, I most definitely think so. And I think the point being made that, well, she had to have known about Luke. It's possible. We know that she was at the Battle of Endor. How much did she see? Where was she during that battle? We're not 100% sure. She's more there for the cleanup and stuff. So, or is her mind been so blocked at this point? We don't know at this point what's happened. I think we're going to find out, though. I think in time, it's going to be revealed in its own way.
Yes, because they do with Cara even more than Grief, keep laying out these nuggets and even play it up a little more in her face and kind of what she feels.
Like, she's been through a lot of trauma.
Yes, and even you pointed out in your blog about Cara, that I think, I'm pretty sure you did, that they, even mentioned why she has the tear, like, tattoo and things like that. Like, so they keep revealing little pieces of information. And really, it's like, it is a lot of trauma that she's experienced and kind of, has this strong face. But I think we will definitely get more Cara. And I wonder,
and because I think she's clearly such a good person.
Yes.
But she does have that tough exterior, which I like. Part of that I think is just her, but like, maybe there is some even more softening that could take place over the series.
Yes. And I would say this too. I think even if, say, the Mandalore thing comes to pass and a lot of the next season is on Mandalore, I think, again, back to what's familiar, I think they'll always go back to Navarro. Like, that's like a familiar planet that we're very familiar with, and they'll keep taking us back there. So I think we'll get them in an episode on Navarro again, probably. But then also, we know about Cara. All Mando has to do is say, "Hey, I need you," and she's like, "I'm in."
Yeah,
like I'm down. I'll come.
I'm only one.
Basically, it's like if Mando just needs help, like she's on the way. So
she's there to save.
So I think we'll definitely, I believe, see more of her, and they'll definitely be back. But I do hope. Sometimes it's kind of like this season got bigger, as Dave Filoni said. And I hope in ways season 3 both continues to get bigger, but then also goes back to smaller in its old roots of that trio that we love of, I want a little more Grief, Cara, and Mando all together because they are a fantastic gang.
Dynamic, that gang. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully we get that. So they'll definitely be back. So we'll see how they do that. What are they saying in that chat? This is like Natalie singing. That's it.
I knew somebody liked it. One person in the world.
That's
my boy Shabby.
Shabby, yeah. Thank you. You're not supposed to lie, Shabby, but
I know I don't have a good voice.
But anyway,
But that's what friends are for.
so now we'll move into, and you guys let us know in the chat. Obviously, Moff Gideon lived, which I think was a wise decision because we still talk about Cara. We've still gone very little about Moff Gideon. So I think there's still a lot to do. Oh, so that's where you bring Cara in too, because Cara wants the info from Moff Gideon. So there's a connection of how you bring her character in, right there, actually. And do you think, though, and you guys let us know in the chat, do you think they will introduce a new big bad, or will Moff Gideon continue to be the big bad?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a hard one.
Moff is definitely high ranking already, like in the villain world. I think he's up there. I mean, kind of like Grogu, don't you think? Like there's the money aspect, not to cash cow it, but it's true. But he really is, as a character, he's a strong villain character.
Yeah.
Like, even the actor, it's just like I've seen him in other things. And I'm like, wow, is he really that villainous in just real life? I just want to know, because he just plays a really good villain. And Moff Gideon is just, you love to hate him. He's like the equal of Umbridge. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. He's the equal for me for like another villain that I love, at least in the Star Wars, that I love to hate him, because he's just that bad and that good all at the same time.
He is.
And don't you love something we've discussed before about Juan Carlos Esposito is, between Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian, and I'm sure other stuff he's been in, he does always play a villain, but it's like, it's not, he doesn't play the same villain. Like he changes everything for each villain. That just shows what a great actor he is, in my opinion.
Well, and Mark brings up something that I wanted to point out. Okay, so I think here's the thing. I think Moff will continue to be kind of the still the main bad in a way with the Empire. And then
okay, let me just, they obviously didn't kill him.
Yeah,
for a reason. So, that is some type of foreshadowing, I would imagine, for the future.
So I think he will still continue to be kind of the main bad person in 3, but say we're right and they go to Mandalore. Then you set up new threats and possibilities just within Mandalore, if it truly is about taking the throne. So I think you establish new villains in a way, but yet he's still kind of the main bad, if that makes sense. And then also with what Mark's saying,
he's Breaking Bad.
Yes, with what Mark says, I believe with these new shows, with the Rangers of the New Republic, with Ahsoka, they are setting up for like an Avenger style team up or Defender style for Netflix team up. And maybe after season 3 of Mando at some point where they will fight Thrawn together. So I think Thrawn at some point, and maybe they begin to name drop him more in Mando season 3. And he's kind of like a Thanos that, it's coming, but it's not yet type thing.
Kind of let it build.
Yes. I think Mark's got it that Thrawn, they began something with Ahsoka saying that. I think they started the Thanos build up to getting there. So I think he's kind of good. But I don't think we'll see him in season 3. I'd be shocked. I think and I'll tell you why. Because I believe Ahsoka season 1 doesn't come until after Mando season 3. And I believe Ahsoka, we know that the whole point of Ahsoka's show is to find Thrawn. Probably. I mean, it seems that way, at least. We can assume. So I think maybe in season 4 or sometime in between 3 and 4 of Mando, we will get, at some point, a team up with all of them, and it will be against Thrawn at some point. But until then, I think Gideon is scared to death of Thrawn.
Another good point.
That is an amazing point, Mark. Yes, I absolutely think he's the person and why he tried to kill himself. And I love when Cara stopped him. But I think for season 3, I don't think.
Yes, I love that.
I loved it too. I don't think we'll see Thrawn. I think we'll just begin to get more crumbs leading to Thrawn. It's kind of what I foresee at this point. And literally I say that just because it comes before the Ahsoka show is why I say that. But I do think Thrawn is going to begin to be the big bad that's that's out there. We're just not getting to them quite yet, is my prediction. So we got that. And then we'll kind of end. Do you think Boba Fett, Fennec, and or Ahsoka and Luke, any of those 4 will be in season 3 of Mando, even if just for a brief episode, cameo, something?
We could have a cameo. I could see cameos. I think we're going to start seeing cameos actually through the different shows. I think we might see Mando in Rangers. I think anything's possible at this point with all these possible cameos, and I think they're going to start crossing them over. Although I do believe Thrawn will be in Ahsoka. Personally, that's my gut feeling. But beyond that, I think it's going to be really neat to see how they're going to set this up. Because I think we're in a Marvel way. Because Jon Favreau is also a Marvel guy. You got to remember, in that area, you're seeing them. They're showing up in every other show with each other, right? You're seeing different characters. And I think that's what's about to happen with Star Wars. I think we're really going to start seeing lots of crossovers. You know, Ahsoka did it in Rebels, right? She showed up, she cameoed, she was there, goodbye, see you later. And now she just did it again with The Mandalorian. So I definitely believe that we're going to be getting that in the Star Wars verse. I really do.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's what, we've talked about. Like, I think that'll be really cool. Like you said, I do think they're kind of building it towards that sort of a Marvel crossover type situation with characters and different kind of going in and out of different projects. And I think that's going to be really cool in the Star Wars universe.
Yes. And we'll be building it up to that Thrawn show off at some point. So I think, again, in that relation, Thrawn is the new Thanos, basically, of the Star Wars world, in my opinion, for the show. So I think that I do there's something in me that doesn't necessarily think we'll see Ahsoka next season. I don't know, because I think she's so set off on her mission at this point. I'd be shocked if we see her in season 3 of Mando, maybe season 4 of Mando. But I doubt they have her go back and see Mando before her show, when we know that she told him goodbye and she's set like Flint to go to find Thrawn, and probably Ezra is who I'm assuming. So I'd be shocked if we see Ahsoka next season, but I definitely feel like we could see Bubba and Fennec, which seem to be a pair at this point. And then I feel like we may see Luke.
Are they together?
I don't know. I've seen
people joke about it.
I've already seen some fan art, but I think we will.
Strange love.
We very well see Luke, even if just like very briefly, or maybe just a ship. I don't know. I think he's going to deliver the child back to Mando, or something's going to happen. So I think you probably do see him. At some point.
This point, would be surprised if we don't see Luke once.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe we won't. But I kind of, my money's on we will.
Yeah, I think we almost have to get the child back at some point. But so that's kind of my thoughts on that. But anything else? I've kind of covered my things. Anything else that you guys you ladies think may be a possibility for next season? Something you may be excited, you think you could see, or anything like that?
All of it. No, I think I'm always a person. I go in with this very open-minded, open to the possibilities of what they're about to deliver to us, and just trust that they see. Because I think like we see this much, right? But yet they see the bigger picture, and I think we just have to trust that. So I'm excited for it.
Totally.
Yes, and as we've been saying, well, in John and Dave, we trust.
Yeah.
They've not failed us yet, guys. I mean, this season was phenomenal, to the point you're wondering, how can they top this season?
You know, think of it this way. They are the gods of Star Wars right now. Like she was saying, you know, it's kind of like we can only see a little bit, but they can see the big picture. We have to trust them that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think, yes, I absolutely. And Nicole was a great guest.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, definitely. But yeah, I think the possibilities, and we'll probably do more of these as it gets closer and we see more stuff that comes out. But I'm just so excited. I just thought season 2 was so phenomenal.
So dang good.
Yes. And I'm just so excited about the possibilities and where this can go. And I just think it's going to continue just as season 2. I feel like even outdid season 1 in a way.
Making Star Wars great again.
Yeah, I expect them to continue just to do awesome things, and for season 3 to blow our minds too. That's just kind of where I am.
Yes.
But yeah, but thank you so much, Nicole, for being on.
Yes.
You're an awesome guest, as Mark
Fabulous
said.
guest.
Yes, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here
Yeah,
and to be with everybody else here that's watching. It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely do it again. And
Yes.
again, let everyone know where they can read your blogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So on Twitter, I'm at Peace Love Star Wars. I blog for Twin Sons Outpost. And then you can also find me on Facebook on Peace Love Disney.
Awesome. Yes. And again, check out her latest blog where she talks about Cara Dune, and it's an awesome blog. So definitely check that out.
I know I'm going to be checking it out.
Yes. Great blog. So check that out. And I want to say thank you to every one of you in the chat. I've seen so many different ones pop in and out, and we appreciate all of you. Hello, Gilster 37. I don't think I saw you.
We love our chats.
Yes, you guys make this so much more fun with all the chats. So we appreciate you guys. And are you asking Blue Harvest?
Oh, like what's your Twitter, Nicole?
Twitter is Peace Love Star Wars.
Yes, Peace Love Star Wars. And she's on our if you just go to our page on Twitter page. You'll see her. Yeah, you'll see her there too.
Right.
So yeah,
and
definitely.
Then, my articles are underneath Twin Sons Outpost, which is also on Twitter and Facebook.
Yes. So check out Nicole, Peace, Love, and Star Wars. Check her out. And we want to wish all of you guys again a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Mark, and to everyone listening in the chat. We hope your Christmas is fantastic. May Santa bring you everything you want.
Tidings we bring.
Yes.
To you and to you.
Oh gosh. And so may you get everything you want. But anyways, that is it for this episode of Force of Light Entertainment.
You get a Merry Christmas and you get a Merry Christmas.
We hope you guys have enjoyed discussing the possibilities, and we will be back soon, in fact, discussing Wonder Woman. So we will check you guys out later, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. And remember, this is the way.
This is the way.
Bye, guys.